Hello, welcome to LADA Life. I'm Linnea May Huxford. Let's talk about breakfast. So, are you trying to change your diet to improve your blood sugar? Uh, I think that's a great idea. Breakfast can be challenging because, first of all the quick and easy breakfasts have a lot of refined carbohydrates and they can make your blood sugar go up really fast and really high, even if you uh, dose the correct amount of insulin, or if that's what you're doing, if you are using insulin to treat your diabetes, or even if you're taking a walk or exercise or doing some other ways to manage your blood sugar. The cereal in the morning is probably not your friend, the regular cereal. Uh, and then even things like smoothies, which can be very have be good, full of very good things like spinach and apple juice, and let's have a fruit smoothie or something like that. Unfortunately, that usually has a lot of sugar as well. And if you like a coffee with one of those fancy creamers, a lot of sugar in that syrup that gets added to the coffee. So breakfast can be challenging. But the good news is once you figure out your breakfast routine, if you find some breakfast that you like a lot that doesn't mess up your blood sugar, if you do that every day, that's a great way to improve your overall blood sugar because of that predictable routine in the morning. That was one of the things that helped me achieve a really good A1C number. So I look for a breakfast that is going to start me off on a good foot for the day, start me off well, something that's not going to stress me out by my blood sugar spiking. I think it's important to figure out what can I eat that's really going to be like, oh, look, I'm off to a great start. Eggs and like bacon or sausage is probably the obvious answer. A lot of people, if they eat eggs and meat, that is a popular choice. A lot of protein. However, eggs are not your only choice when it comes for breakfast, not at all. So for context, I don't believe in no carbohydrates. I believe in low to moderate carbohydrates. That's what my diet is. A well-balanced meal that has protein. And I think it's important to say yes to yourself. See, because if diabetes, if it's all about saying no to yourself, like, no, you cannot eat that, well, that's a lot of negativity, and it's not good for mental health at all. You need to love yourself. So saying yes, let's say yes when we talk about what to eat for breakfast. So rather than saying, no, you can't have carbohydrates, no, you can't have pancakes, no, you can't have toast, etc. Let's say, yes, you could have a slice of whole wheat toast that is full of grains and fiber that's good for you, but you also need to have some protein with that. You need to add some peanut butter to that toast, or you need to have some eggs with it, something with protein. So the yes part is say, yes, I can have that. And yes, I'm going to add protein to make it a good decision. Now with pancakes, if I was going to eat a regular pancake, yes, I'm going to add some sausage and eggs to the meal. I recommend, or the pancakes that I really like to eat are called Kodiak cakes, and they're a high protein pancake. And I was surprised that it really is pretty smooth on the blood sugar, is my experience. So I recommend those highly, and I'll link to them in the description. But yeah, you can have pancakes, and if you have protein pancakes, that will make it much easier. You just have to be careful about how much like maple syrup you put on the pancakes. But a lot of this diet management, I see it as not saying no, but is saying yes, and I'm going to have a small portion of this thing because I know that it's going to be a challenge for my blood sugar. Or yes, I'm going to have this muffin, but I'm also going to take a really long walk afterwards, and that's going to help burn off some of that sugar. Now, 5 days out of the week, I work and I don't have a lot of time to get breakfast in the morning. So I actually like cereal, and I found some Catalina Crunch cereal, which is a high protein cereal. And I have that with whole milk. I actually have A2 milk, which if you're allergic to milk, you may want to see if A2 milk is something that you can have because it has a different protein in it. And some people who are allergic to milk or do not react well to milk can actually have A2 milk, and it's becoming much more popular. In the stores here, you can find A2 milk in Costco, and this was a pretty recent change. So A2 milk A lot of protein in there, and a whole milk. It has the fat in there. And when you add fat and protein to the carbohydrates, it makes it spike less because the digestion of the fat, uh, it really slows down the digestion of the carbohydrates. And I like to put something in the cereal that is good for me, that has vitamins in it. Dried blueberries is my recent thing, and pecans. So some nuts and some berries, a small amount of berries. Berries have great things for you, antioxidants. Blueberries in particular are supposed to be really good for the eyes. I take a supplement that has some of the same compounds that are in the blueberries, and I notice it makes a difference. I will link to that supplement in the description. It's has a really long name. But the and that, by the way, that's how I decide if I'm going to keep taking a supplement, is if I take a supplement, I think it's doing something for me, and then I stop it, and then I see, do I notice a difference? Because that discontinuation, and if I notice a difference, then I realize, oh, that supplement really is doing something for me. And there's only a few supplements that I take regularly, this eye supplement, and then a probiotic, which is like the acidophilus probiotic, is great for so many reasons. When I first got diagnosed with LADA diabetes, early on in the journey, I was having English muffins and monitoring my blood sugar. And that's when I discovered that if I add more protein to the English muffin, I can still have the English muffin, but my blood sugar is much better, easier to manage along, the course of the day. So the protein makes a huge impact first thing in the morning. When I was a kid in school, going to high school, I would have English muffin with egg and cheese and ham on it. And nowadays, I'll do egg and sausage, or egg and bacon. But that breakfast would actually, some days I wouldn't eat anything until after I got home from school, and that would work throughout the whole day of school. And that's when I realized that you can actually train your hunger clock, is what I'm going to train your hunger clock. So on Monday, I would eat this breakfast in the morning, and I was really hungry toward the end of the school day. And I couldn't wait to get home to get some food to eat. And then Tuesday, I got a little bit better. And then Wednesday, Thursday, by Friday, I wasn't even hungry until I got home from school, because I had taught my body to, oh, you're going to get a meal when I get home from school. And so I trained myself inadvertently. This wasn't what I wasn't, it was an observation of my own behavior Monday through Friday, and then over the weekend, I would not follow that same schedule for eating. And so like on Monday, it was like all reset again. I had to sort of get into this training myself. So if you eat meals at the same time every day, it will probably help with when you're hungry, you'll get used to that rhythm and maybe be hungry less, possibly. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if that does anything for you. I know intermittent fasting is really popular these days. So intermittent fasting is where you don't eat anything for a certain number of hours, like 14 hours of not eating, for example. And so you take the time you're going to eat and you compress it. You eat it a shorter time period, like maybe you only eat food from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m., something like that, instead of having it spread out so much. And there's a lot of people that think this is great for all kinds of health reasons. And I can kind of see that, your body is not having to do the food processing activities that the body does round the clock. If you shorten that window, that it could change what your body is doing. So it's an interesting idea. I mean, everybody does fast when they're sleeping. So breakfast, you're breaking the fast. So intermittent fasting, well, you fasted for 6 hours, 8 hours. I personally can do 12 hours. I'll eat dinner at 6 p.m. and then I won't have breakfast until after 6 a.m. So I've fasted for 12 hours. And the thing that I find that helpful with is that way I don't snack in the evening, because snacking in the evening, usually I'm not snacking because I'm hungry. It's just because I'm enjoying some chips or something like that. And I don't want to gain weight from eating food that I don't need, right? So I want to eat when I'm hungry, when I actually need the calories. I don't want to be taking in extra calories because I don't want to become overweight. So I use an insulin pump, so I don't have a problem usually with getting low blood sugar at night. Sometimes people with diabetes have problems of getting low blood sugar in the middle of the night, and then they have to have a snack before going to bed. And if that's the case, and you need a snack before going to bed so you can sleep through the night, that's definitely the right thing to do. If you're trying to avoid having that snack at night and you want to not have that low blood sugar in the middle of the night, might be worth talking to your doctor about changing up your insulin regimen if you're on insulin, and trying to talk to your healthcare provider on what could be going on here, why you're getting low blood sugar in the middle of the night. Because ideally, you do not need a snack in the middle of the night. But when you get low blood sugar, you have to treat it whenever that happens, no matter what time. Treating low blood sugar quickly is definitely key to not having really bad things happen. Low blood sugar is very dangerous. So as soon as you get low blood sugar, definitely have something with sugar in it and actually keep that on you at all times. As somebody with diabetes, it's really important to be able to have something there to raise your blood sugar when you need it, which is sometimes a misunderstood thing about diabetes, because some people don't understand that actually if you have diabetes, you do need sugar sometimes. Some people think, oh, you should never have sugar if you have diabetes. Well, that's not true. Sugar can be life-saving. A juice box can be life-saving. So back to breakfast foods. I've always loved bagels. I have mostly given up having a complete full bagel because of the amount of carbohydrates in that bagel. However, if I do have a bagel, which I occasionally will do, especially if I'm out somewhere on vacation, first of all, make sure I have protein on it. I'll have either lox, which has salmon on it, or I will have like eggs and bacon or something and cheese on that bagel, as much protein as possible. And then for me personally, I probably need 2 insulin boluses for that bagel, unless I'm going to be doing a lot of exercise. But assuming that I'm not doing a lot of exercise that day, if I want to eat a complete bagel in the morning, I need more insulin than I would need for other meals because of the high amount of carbohydrates. And I do split up the boluses because of the delayed nature of how my body digests the carbohydrate in the bagel. But often if I am going to have a bagel, I only have half of a bagel, because to keep the carbohydrates down just makes managing blood sugar so much easier. So it's a way to say, yes, I can have a bagel, but I'm only have a half a bagel with cream cheese. And then if I'm hungry, I'll have some nuts or some yogurt, like plain yogurt, Greek yogurt or something like that with it. And Greek yogurt or plain yogurt, unsweetened yogurt, is a great choice. It has so much protein in it, and you can add some berries, and you can add a little bit of honey, and it still won't be as full of sugar as if you buy the yogurt that has the sugar already in it. So Greek yogurt with berries, a bit of honey, and honey is also great if you have seasonal allergies. Local honey can really solve that seasonal allergy issue. It's amazing. Look into that if that's new to you, if that's something that you experience, those allergies. Honey is a great compound as well for all kinds of properties. So I like to choose honey over plain sugar when possible. Plus, bees are wonderful, and we need bees to pollinate our plants. I love nature. I love this earth. I've also added mushroom coffee to my diet lately, which I think does make a significant impact on lowering my blood sugar. Definitely talk to your doctor if you're going to add mushroom coffee. I either buy the mushroom coffee that's pre-ground and mixed up all together. 4-Sigmatic has many different kinds of varying caffeine amounts. They're amazingly great health impact. Or I get mushroom tinctures, which then I put like a dropper full in my coffee. And I think that works great. Probably not for everybody, right? But I've talked about that in other videos. I also like mushrooms in general, the science of mushrooms and studying mushrooms. And lion's mane is a mushroom that's really great for memory and cognition, that has gained a lot of popularity. And then there's also a side topic, is if you decide that you're going to have eggs for breakfast. And if you are new to cooking eggs, this is an invitation to a craft of how do you cook your eggs and how do you get that perfect omelet if you like omelets. I've got to tell you, I think I finally figured out how to cook an omelet, but I have overcooked so many omelets in the past or had runny omelets. So an omelet, I always like to order an omelet for breakfast when I eat out. I find it kind of challenging to make, but now I think I can do it at home. And it's one of those things of learning how to do something that takes some practice. And with eggs, the egg has to be at the right temperature for the right amount of time. And it really requires being in the moment and observing what's going on and making decisions about, oh, do you flip the egg over now? Is it ready? Yeah, so cooking eggs is a great skill to learn and to impress people. If you want to cook for a loved one and you know how to cook eggs, awesome. So yeah, the day that I had needed the lowest amount of insulin, I did a long bike ride in the morning, fasted. I woke up in the morning. I did not eat anything. I went on a bike ride, which is absolutely the easiest way to do a lot of exercise first thing in the morning. I'll put my insulin pump on exercise mode, essentially, and it means it gives me a little bit less insulin. And then in the morning, people experience usually a natural rise in blood sugar. This is extremely common. There's hormones, the cortisol and other hormones that naturally get released, and these tend to raise blood sugar in the morning. So dawn phenomenon, your blood sugar rises a bit in the morning. That's a great time to do exercise. And one day I did this long bike ride, and then when I came back from the bike ride, I had like eggs and bacon and no carbohydrates, and I wasn't going low, so it was working out perfectly. And that day I used like half as much insulin as I usually need. So that is just an example of the dramatic impact exercise and diet choices can really have on insulin needs and blood glucose. Speaking of dawn phenomenon, if that's a struggle for you, having less carbohydrates the night before and or adjusting your diabetes medication or insulin may be needed. So it is natural to have it rise in blood sugar in the morning, but if it's to the point where it's really throwing off your whole day and you're not sure what to do about it, definitely talk to your doctor about it or try to reduce carbohydrates with that evening meal, and you may see a difference there. Oh, and one more thing. If you enjoy coffee, some people do find that they need to bolus for coffee, even if it's black coffee with nothing in it. I personally do not. I drink my coffee black, and I generally do not do any insulin boluses for my coffee. However, I do sugar surf, which is a whole concept from Dr. Ponder. There's another video about it. I sugar surf, and sometimes I will need insulin at the same time as drinking my coffee. But I do not directly see that if I have caffeine, my blood sugar goes up. But some people say that, yes, there is a connection there, that caffeine raises their blood sugar. All right, those are my ideas about breakfast. Remember to say yes to yourself. Yes, I can have a small amount of that carbohydrate and I will have some protein with it. And that will make for a well-balanced meal. Please share your favorite ideas for breakfast in the comments here to help everybody out. It's a good idea to brainstorm what do you want for breakfast and share and tell me what it is. Maybe it's something I haven't even mentioned. Everybody's different about what breakfast should be based on their culture, right? So there's no one answer for everybody, as is everything in diabetes. This is a learning experience. Learn about yourself and take care of yourself. Thank you.